Kyle Busch wins at Talladega with some impressive moves, late being at the right place at the right time, and ignoring the call of his crew chief to come into pit road, while other people have misfortune towards the end of the race. Now, Talladega itself, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the race itself because there's some other big news in the NASCAR world that I'm going to be addressing here in a minute, but I didn't have too much to talk about when it comes to the Talladega race. So, my thoughts, my three main talking points I wanted to bring up are this. First off, Kyle Busch obviously wins the race. Throughout this whole entire race, though, I didn't feel like there was a certain team or driver that looked to be the guy to beat. This race really just showed off that the Super Speedway package right now is mainly based on being at the right place at the right time and hoping you're already at the front when the white flag hits. Because more than likely, if you're at the front in this Super Speedway package right now, you're probably going to win the race. If you're within that top 5, someone in that top 5 is probably winning. It's not like the Gen 6 where you can get a huge shot and find yourself running from 20th to the lead within 2 laps. Unless people stop pushing, which that was the only time a third lane really got going. The racing product was all right at Talladega. I'm a little skeptical, and a lot of the drivers have been very big on it, and I'm getting really big on it. We need to add horsepower into these cars. They really need to. This car is going to be big, and it's going to be really good if we can just throw horsepower into it. Now, my second main thing I want to talk about is the Kyle Larson-Ryan Preece crash. If you didn't see it, it's on screen right now. On the first overtime restart, Kyle Larson got hit when Noah Gragson and Ross Chastain made contact. Larson got hit, got loose, spun around, went into the grass, then came back onto the track and got nailed. Luckily, not on the driver's side, but got hit really hard by Ryan Preece. And it was bad where the roll bar on that side of the car, the passenger side of the car, was literally lifted into the car. Very, very lucky that it was not hit on Larson's driver's side. I know the driver's side a lot more protected and everything, but still, it could have been a lot, and I mean a lot worse in that scenario. I saw some people saying he would have been dead. I don't think he would have died. That, like I said, that driver's side's a lot more protected than the passenger side, but still, not a great sign. I do know that NASCAR took both cars, the Ryan Preece car and the Kyle Larson car, to the R&D center to try and figure out something. I would suspect we will hear something here soon about what their plan is to do when it comes to fixing this. Now, the final thing I want to talk about when it comes to the Talladega race is Bubba Wallace. I've been talking about Bubba Wallace. I mainly made a video around him, actually, a couple weeks ago when the issues at COTA happened, where he said he should just be replaced. Since then, he had been running pretty well. He hasn't been up competing for wins like he probably wanted to, but he's been towards that top 10 margin. He's getting his emotions in check. And then he comes to Talladega this week, where he actually was leading the field on the white flag lap. But unfortunately for Bubba, he tried to block way too many times, got spun around by Ryan Blaney, and crashed on that final lap. Lost his chance to win, lost a really good fight. You could tell the emotion was there, but Bubba did do one thing I was very happy to see him do that was very different compared to what happened last time, and that's that he, obviously he's going to show emotion, which I think the drivers need to do. He was distraught on pit road, went to the AMR Safety Center, but he wasn't, saying he needed to be replaced, or he wasn't going and blaming other people. He took blame, said he made too many blocks. Nobody else's fault but his, but it wasn't as hard as himself as he has been in the past, and I think that's a good thing. I do suspect here in the upcoming weeks, especially since we're going to Kansas, a track that Bubba really likes, watch for Bubba to be really fast when we hit this 1.5 miles here in a couple weeks. I'm going to say he's a dark horse when we go to Kansas. I think he's in that right mindset to go compete. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about, and probably the big thing out of nowhere today. Well, there's two. I want to start off by congratulating the NWP group and the Daily Downforce group on having their second ever sponsorship opportunity. If you don't know, Eric Estep, who runs his channel, and Out of the Groove, which will be linked down in the description below, NWP, the NASCAR Weekly Podcast, will be also linked in the description below. Eric Estep, though, and Out of the Groove, sponsored Brennan Poole last year in the Xfinity Series. So he wanted to do it again. A lot of people want to see him sponsor the car. I actually have the Out of the Groove pit crew shirt. I really liked it that much. But they said they want to do something big. They had some big news today. And it was officially revealed. The Daily Downforce group and the NWP group will be sponsoring BJ McLeod's number 78 Chevrolet at Darlington. And I gotta say, this is a great thing for the NASCAR YouTube community. This is a great thing for NASCAR because it's going to get some young fans who watch these guys on the radar. So, if you haven't already seen this, go check out their channels. Go check out the NASCAR Weekly Podcast because they do an amazing job over there. I'm so happy for you guys. Congratulations. So now on to the next bit of news that came out today. About 2 hours after that, it was announced that Alex Bowman will miss the next 3 to 4 races with a broken vertebrae. Yes, the second Hendrick driver to injure himself. And no, he did not injure himself in a cup car. He injured himself in a sprint car accident that happened last night. And he's going to be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Josh Berry will be filling in for Alex Bowman in that number 48 car, which those races, if I'm not mistaken, are going to be now Dover, Kansas, Darlington, which I would assume that means Bowman would either return for North Wilkesboro or return for the Coke 600. So, big news. It's going to be interesting to see how Rick Hendrick responds and everything. But for now, that's all I got. So the big questions I want to ask you guys today. What are your thoughts on the Super Speedway package? Do you think NASCAR should add more horsepower? And how do you think Rick Hendrick's going to respond to this? Answer down below in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yet again, I do want to say congratulations, and I'm so happy to see this for the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. This is a huge moment for us NASCAR guys on YouTube. I know you guys probably don't know me immediately, or probably won't ever see this, but congratulations, you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.